Good evening. I want to talk about Antifa, Black Lives Matter, AOC, the squad, and so forth. I want to talk about what defunding the police is all about. Defunding the police is about no laws, no rules for the Democrat and black community. That is what it's about. That's why it is always specific cases that go to trial that get CNN media attention. And what it's about is, it's got to be a white cop and a black. A minority will do, but a black is just key to it. Now, what is this all about? This is so blacks don't have to have any laws. They don't want any laws or any rules. They want to run around and do what they want. They want to rape and pillage. Every black guy that has been killed this year in 2021 was a criminal, had outstanding warrants, etc., etc., etc. Dante Wright. Pulled over. He had a bad tag on his car. Al Sharpton completely lied and said that it was called he had an air freshener in his car. That is not what it was about. That was about, because the video even shows what happened. They run his record. He has an outstanding warrant for his arrest because he committed armed robbery. Armed robbery with a gun. He's 18. He's not even legally able to possess a firearm. In all states right now, it's 18 to own you have to be 21 to own a firearm, 18 to own a rifle, a shotgun. Okay? But he committed armed robbery. Probably had a secondary charge for illegal possession of a firearm because he was 18, not 21. Okay? So they go back and they run his record. He has a warrant for his arrest. So they ask him to step out of the car. Okay? They bring him around to the side of the car, about to between the gas tank and the door, what it looked like to me. Okay? He shoots back into the driver's seat to flee or reach for a gun. Okay? The cops don't know what he's doing, but they know he's resisting arrest. They know he's already a warrant for his arrest, and it's a violent arrest. A violent warrant. The lady comes around. She's panicking, probably new on the job, shoots Dante White and kills him. She openly admits she was trying to tase him, got confused in the commotion, and shot him. Now, she didn't murder him on purpose. But I do believe that when you make an accident like that, you have to be dealt with. Now, she'll probably get jail time, and I am okay with that. You know, she just can't walk free. She will be dealt with. We go to George Floyd, who was killed, and he was, I don't even know, Chauvin, I reckon that's Chauvin, the one that was convicted of murdering him. I don't believe it was murder. I do believe he could have done some different things differently. I will say this. The reason why they didn't let him up is because of the shenanigans he had previously done on a previous arrest. Almost a year to the day, he was arrested on camera, doing the same thing. Don't kill me, man. Don't shoot me, man. My mom just died. All this shenanigans. He's claustrophobic. Can't breathe. A year to the day. Basically, a year to when he was killed. Okay? They already know he's a career criminal. Been in jail 9 times. Now, of course, you can rape a hooker. And what that means is, as a hooker who sells her body Monday night may not be interested in sex or selling her body. So when she decides not to, she has that right. So a hooker can't be raped. And just because he had monstrosities, previous records, been in jail 9 times, doesn't mean he deserved to die. But previously, that year earlier, he had OD'd on the drug. And I believe, and I've got it saved just in case the media tries to remove it and all that kind of stuff to hide what he really was, that he had OD'd then. And they took him to the hospital. He had OD'd on drugs. And I believe they said, spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. He was swallowing the drugs then. On this case where he was fatally killed, where he fatally died by Chauvin, video shows him with a pill in his mouth, and he's like, oh, and he swallows it. And then they find some drugs in the back seat of the car, which may just tucked it into the side of his throat or something. But he had 3 times the drugs to kill him. Now, I think, like I said earlier, Chauvin could have done some things differently. But the reason why Chauvin laid him on the ground is because he asked to be put on the ground. He said he couldn't breathe before he was laid on the ground after asking them to put him on the ground. They went to put him in the car, and he panicked like he did a year before. He's claustrophobic, but he just got out of the car, so he really wasn't claustrophobic. Sometimes people use that as a way to kind of, please let me go, man, please, and maybe they'll let you go if you can talk your way out of it. So, Chauvin, does what he does. He dies. Coroner says he had 3 times the amount of drugs that were needed to kill him. The case is over. It's done. We'll get back to Chauvin. All right? But, like Dante White, George Floyd was breaking the law at the time he was killed. Murdered accidentally. They were breaking the law. There are multiple cases, all the cases in 2021 of people that were killed, blacks that were killed, they all were doing something they shouldn't have been doing. They all made it worse than what it was. When a cop asks you to do something, you need to do it. Okay? The cops are not Navy SEALs. They're not trained for the extreme stress as in an arrest when a guy goes for a gun in the glove box. When they ask you to put your hands on your wheel, they're doing it for everybody's safety. Don't make the cop think you're doing something. But you blacks want to do what you want, and you're finding out you're not warriors. You're not tough. You get killed all the time. You're getting killed all the time. Now, what am I getting at? Well, these cops get taken to court. And we keep hearing defund the police. Now, what are they really after? Well, and it's a very intricate plan. Those that want the cops defunded, they want the cops defunded because they don't want blacks to have to answer to the law. That's what it's about. When we know blacks commit nearly all the violent crime, and you may get mad, but you can't prove me wrong. You'll say the FBI statistics are wrong, even under 8 years of President Obama. Because the last statistic I looked at, that I found online, they were posting a picture of it, no Facebook thing, it was 2015, and Trump was elected in 16. Okay, so that was President Obama statistics. A black man running the FBI. The Attorney General was a black guy. So we have black men showing statistics where like 93% of all blacks are killed by blacks. 81% of whites are killed by blacks. Nearly all the rape is committed by blacks. I don't think in 2015, not one black woman was raped by a white man. Not one. The black community makes up 13% the men in there make up 8% and commit 85, 90% of all the violent crime. All the violent crime. I live in a southern town, and from New Orleans to Jackson, Mississippi, for 2 weeks, I bet you've been taking pictures and saving it in a word pad. And I call it Biden's crime spree. And it is just 100 blacks and 5 whites. Blacks come in contact with police about 5 times as many as whites do. But yet twice as many whites are killed by cops. And whites don't get TV time. Cops don't get prosecuted. It's okay. When a cop kills a white guy, it's okay. He can be a black cop or a white cop. It's okay. But when a black man or woman is killed by a cop and he's white, it's manna from heaven. It fits all the agenda. And when it's a female, like Maya, the one who was shot in the progress of stabbing another black woman, LeBron, who's nothing but a bitch, nothing but a rich, spoiled bitch, said that it was wrong to kill the cop, for the cop to shoot her. I guess LeBron wanted to let the girl go. I mean, but blacks are okay with black on black crime. So it was probably okay if she stabbed a black woman. Now, if it was a white woman stabbing a black girl, by all means, shoot her. Put her down. Kill her. No. But blacks don't want to be bound by the law. Blacks want to do what they want. This is what defunding the police is about. And I can prove to you. Black Lives Matter one of the co-founders said that a while back. I can't show you the video because YouTube don't like me posting stuff that proves stuff. I can't use everybody's videos. You just have to take my word for it. She said that rioters should not be able to be shot. Rioters should not be held accountable. Now, there's a difference between a protest and a riot. Martin Luther King encouraged protest. You get in the street, you hold hands, you dress in. Martin Luther King dressed in a suit in hot Chicago, hot Atlanta. Dressed in a suit. A class act. He didn't burn the store down. He didn't steal a pair of Nikes. He didn't even flip a mailbox. He didn't threaten a cop. He showed how it was done. But today, the riots, the protests, are the opening door to the riots. They want to say it's a protest and they want it to be a riot. Because when a black man dies, a black lady dies, free TVs and Jordans automatically come with their death. In celebration of their death, TVs and rioting must happen, must take place. Black Lives Matter lady, the Black Lives co-founder, I won't mention her name because they'll say it's a copyright, said that rioters should not have rioters should be allowed to riot because stores have insurance and it's a part of reparations. Those are slick words. What she's really saying is blacks should be able to steal when they want and not worry about the law. She's also saying that business owners should not be allowed to use force to protect their business and property. That's what she's saying. And if you do, you should be prosecuted. She wants you to be forced to allow them to come in your store, destroy your business, destroy your building, burn your cars, kill cops, and not anything happen to you. They want to get out of jail card, free jail card. That's what they want. They don't want you to have to post bail. And I know for a fact, in 2012, my uncle was killed in Jackson, Mississippi by 2 black men. On video, the first guy was found with his wallet, my uncle's wallet, his cell phone. He squealed on the second one. And the Jackson attorneys gave them every chance to get out. Everything they tried, they had to stay. It took 3 years to go to trial. One claimed he was mentally unstable. Then the other one claimed he was mentally unstable. It couldn't be a race. It couldn't be a hate crime, because the attorney said, well, blacks just do that. If it had been an old black guy, they'd have beat him up and murdered him. He was at a junkyard. He was repairing a fence on his knees with a welding hood on and the weld machine 10 feet from him. He never knew what happened. I can't post the pictures because they'll take the pictures off. Where he's got gashes all in his head. He was beaten to a coma. Fluid filled his whole body up. He was a man. He was 5'8", weighed 135 pounds. Face swole up, arms swole up from fluid, from the brain damage. One got 8 years, one got 20 years. 2 black guys beat a white man to pieces. They didn't just kill him. They beat him to pieces. And they got 8 years and 12 years. And in the state of Mississippi, when a death occurs in a robbery, it's supposed to be mandatory death penalty. But their attorney said that they wanted mercy because they felt bad about what had happened. You think? You get caught after bragging about we killed that old white guy, and they got mercy from the court. But my uncle's dead. He had 4 daughters. He was taking care of 2 of them. They lost everything. They lost everything. The houses, everything. Nobody did pay the bills no more. They lost everything. It destroyed the family, physically, and the heart, financially. 8 years and 20 years. Last year, a couple of years ago, I had a girl I went to school with. She was living in an abusive relationship. Her husband was like 63. She was like 48 at the time. He had done some weird things to her. He had roughed her up and told her he was going to bed. So if you come in here and wake me up, I'm going to beat your teeth down your throat. He goes to bed. An hour later, she decides to sneak into the bed so she can go to sleep. She pulls his sheets over. He starts rolling over. Each one of them had a gun on their nightstand. He rolled over to come after her. She thought. We never know. We never knew. And she takes the gun, shoots him in the back of the head and kills him. She pleads guilty. After pleading guilty, she got 40 years. 5 years suspended. 2 black men killed my uncle. Get 8 and 20. She gets 35 after 5 suspended. They got 20, she got 35. Now, getting back to Chauvin. I'll bet you Chauvin gets more time for killing for what happened. We'll say murder, 2nd degree, because he was convicted of it. He'll get more time than the 2 black guys that killed my uncle. But you hear the lies about blacks get more time, more blacks go to jail. Now, percentage-wise, more whites have been executed by the death penalty than blacks. Out of 100 blacks that go to jail for murder, and 100 whites that go to jail for murder, more whites get the death penalty per 100 than blacks do. Why is that? And now they don't want to have any crimes. They don't want to have crimes. They want it to be legal to resist arrest, fight the cops, speed, don't show up for your court date, violate bond and bail, each other like Maya was doing when the cops shot her 4 times. And the reason why they shoot 4 times is to stop her. I mean, he just shot her, I guess, in the torso. I don't know exactly where it was. And, but she was in the middle of attempted murder. She had a kitchen knife and was going to stab her, okay? That's attempted murder, at the minimum. There was a guy that, I forgot who his name was. He was shot 4 times by the cops, resisting arrest, drives off after driving at the cops with his car. That was just shown today. After their lawyer had a second autopsy and said he was shot, I believe 4 times in the back and 1 time in the head. He was executed. You have to use big flashy words. He was executed. Cops are not trained to shoot in the head. Cops are taught to shoot in the torso because it's the largest target. Cops are not trained to shoot to kill. They're trained to shoot to stop. And the reason why they shoot you 3 or 4 times, because if they don't hit you in a vital organ, you can still return fire. You can still fight. Many cases exist where people were shot in the chest, heart, and they're still able to fight. If they're pumped up on drugs, I remember reading Guns and Ammos in the 90s where a guy, it didn't say if he was black or white, but it was like on the 2nd floor. They chased him. He was on drugs and the cops were chasing him. And they shot him 6, 7 times in the head. He jumped out of 2nd floor building, landed on the ground, ran 26 yards and died. After being shot in the head, was still able to run out a window, hit the ground, and run 27 yards. They shoot to stop, not to shoot to kill. The black community don't want security. They want mass chaos, mayhem. They want the cops to stand out and to allow them to do what they want. But see, in the cities where Black Lives Matter has just been protesting defunding the police, even if they actually don't do it, the cops are now skittish to apprehend the bad black guys. And in those cities, crime and murder have went up like 33%. Because the blacks are getting what they want. They want mayhem. They want chaos. But it's just a matter of time before they start hauling discrimination. Because, see, it's the cops that keep the violence to what it is. If there are no cops in Chicago, the drug dealers will just rampage everybody. They'll kill their competition. Hey, they'll kill you if you don't get the $20 that you owe them. Hey, they will just murder and rape in unheard of numbers. And then the black community will holler that the white cops ain't defending them, ain't taking care of them, ain't protecting them. But this is what they want. They want chaos. I personally believe that the elite want a race war. And the elite have always talked about getting rid of the scum, or what they call bottom feeders. Now, Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood, who was the idol of Hillary Clinton, said there were certain groups that needed to be eliminated. And her #1 group was the black community. They need to be eliminated. That's why more whites have abortions, but once again, per 100 black mothers versus 100 white mothers, more blacks have their babies aborted. I've read articles where roughly 50% of all black babies conceived since 1975 have been aborted. And it is done for population control. See, the elite know that there's 6 times as many whites as there are blacks. Most of the guns are in the hands of white conservatives. I must say, I went to a gun show a couple years ago, and I was extremely pleased and shocked. There was quite a few blacks buying AK-47s, AR-15s, and I would speak to them and say, God bless you. All men should be armed. All men should be armed to protect themselves from the bad guy, whether he be black, white, or Asian. Also, we're seeing, they say it is. I think it's just really getting reported more that we're seeing a rise in Asian, what is it, the word, hate crime. Asian hate crimes are going up and rising. And everyone that I have seen, the one who committed the hate crime was a black guy. So the blacks are now preying on, according to 2015 statistic by the FBI, 81 or 87% of all whites were killed by blacks. So the blacks are killing whites at a phenomenal number. Every Asian hate crime that I've seen where they showed the one who committed the hate crime was a black. So the blacks are preying on the whites. The blacks are preying on the blacks. Now they're preying on the Asians. Basically, y'all need to get Jesus. You have to believe in Jesus. I believe in it, but it's just better than nothing. Y'all were butchering everybody. Like I said, from New Orleans, Mississippi, hundreds of blacks are committing crimes and so forth. So, drive-by shootings. We just had a black girl, I believe that was in Jackson or Chicago. She was killed she was in the drive-thru at McDonald's and she got shot. I believe they said it was an intentional retaliation. No, I tell you what, I'll kill your kid. You know, and that was, I'm sure, by a black person. Killed a black baby. But it's not getting a bunch of attention. One article on it, Black Lives Matter, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, not mentioning anything about that little baby killed. I don't know it was a black that murdered her. Statistically, more than likely was. Whites are not out hunting blacks. White cops are not out hunting blacks. There are some bad black cops. Bad white cops. And they're bad black cops. If you remember Boys in the Hood, in the very beginning, the black cops were calling some of the characters little ends. Little ends, little that. Even the black cops don't like the black thugs. Okay? Lots of black cops kill blacks all the time, but it doesn't get media attention because it doesn't fit the agenda of a perpetual race war. Blacks are being honed into it, and whites are going to eventually have enough of it, and they're going to start fighting back. And that's what they want. The elite want 210 million whites fighting 40 million blacks. That's what they want. They want a race war. And the riots and the protests and the white cop killing the black guy is part of it. Black cops in general are now afraid to stamp in and do certain things because they know if this guy makes me kill him or her because she's stabbing another person, I can go to jail. And my family will have no one to take care of them. So, black on black crime is going to even get higher than what it is. It's out the charts now. Blacks butcher each other every weekend. I see these pictures posted of whites commit all of the mass shootings. Under Obama, I think it was raised from like 4 to 6 being killed or shot to 2 to increase the amount of shootings, to make it seem like it's happening more. But we only hear about it when a white guy commits it. We don't hear about the black guy that shoots 6 people at a party in Chicago last Sunday. We don't hear that. But just to get things right, whites outnumber all other races 6 times or more. Okay? But yet, they only commit 53% of the mass shootings, according to the new figures. Blacks and minorities commit 47%, considering that they're outnumbered by the whites by 6. Per 100, it should be 6 times as many whites committing mass shootings, but we're not. Another statistic, less than 150 people are killed on average by a so-called assault rifle. 150 or less will be killed each year on average by a so-called assault rifle. The other 12,000 or so will be killed by bass hammers, screwdrivers, pistols. Another statistic for you. That's a lie from the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party now wants to take out any conservative that's in the military. Because conservatives, and they generally mean whites, are not as gullible as the black man. See, you're being programmed that there's a race war against you, and there's not. But they want you to believe that is. I mean, about half the cops are black. You know, I mean, Chicago, New York, I mean, Seattle, I mean, it's a lot of blacks. A lot of blacks are cops. You probably are in proportionately too many per 100 blacks per 100 whites. There's too many cops according to the statistics. Because whites outnumber blacks 6 to 1, there should be 6 times as many white cops as there are black cops, but I don't think that's so. But that's okay. I mean, affirmative, I never agree with affirmative action, because affirmative action is basically we have to have this many blacks, this many minorities, this many whites. And it shouldn't be like that. See, 5 years ago I had surgery. The surgeon was a white guy. The anesthesiologist was a black man. And I am a type 2 diabetic. And he ran the oxygen percentage in my blood. The anesthesiologist did. Black guy. Because he said, well, I knew you were diabetic, and I wanted to make sure that level was fine. And he come in the room and told me that we got to postpone your surgery because your oxygen blood content level is too low. He said, if I put you to sleep, you won't wake up. Well, do you think I was mad that that anesthesiologist black guy? Because that guy was about the smartest man I'd ever met. When he spoke, you could tell he was sharp. I'm thankful that black guy was an anesthesiologist, because I may not be here to make these videos that's going to upset YouTube and the black community. But I love everybody. I'm just telling you, you're being set up. And when your grandmother starts getting killed because there's no cops to protect her, no cops to call, remember, you got what you asked for. You wanted the cops out of your community, and you got it. So don't feel bad. Be graceful and grateful that you got what you wanted. You wanted the police out of the community. So now the thugs, and I love how everyone, they got pictures of criminals who were killed by cops as angels. They were heroes. No, they were criminals. And if you run in the highway, if you play in the highway long enough, you'll eventually go get hit. You're going to get run over. Now, once again, Chauvin was convicted of 3 crimes. Second-degree murder was murder without the intention to commit murder. You know, it is what it is. I know Officer Tatum said himself, and so did the Hodge brothers, who are all black, said they probably would have handled it a little differently. I mean, generally, I would have got off his neck, but they showed he really was on his shoulder blade. So I would have eased up when he said he couldn't breathe. But remember this, on video, And no one can challenge it. George Floyd was saying he couldn't breathe before he was even laid on the ground. And he asked me to put on the ground because he was claustrophobic of the car. Even when he just got out of the car. All of a sudden he's claustrophobic. We all get claustrophobic and nervous when the cops show up. So we believe that. But it was a hustle to maybe, if I act up enough, don't let me go. And in the video, they're constantly saying, are you okay? Have you taken, because you're acting mighty. You're acting as if you've taken a lot of drugs. So, now, when George Floyd was standing up, and this is on video, and YouTube will probably ban it, but I'm building a website to put all this on, so I don't have to have you anymore. And I'll pay the $30 a month to keep it up. I don't care. I pay for it a year at a time. And what will happen is, what happened is that George Floyd was either feeling the effects of an overdose, or it was a hustle to talk the cops out of arresting him. But George Floyd had forgotten a year earlier he had pulled the same stunts. So they put him on the ground after George Floyd requested to be placed on the ground. And when George Floyd was saying that he couldn't breathe, it is very possible Chauvin figured it's just another hustle. I myself said, you know what? I'll just raise a knee for a couple minutes and see. And tap him on the shoulder. Are you okay? That's what Chauvin is guilty of. He didn't intend to kill him. But George Floyd put himself in there. Dante White put himself in there. Maya, who was stabbing the lady in the cop video that LeBron said shouldn't have been shot, all were criminals and had committed a crime that got the cops to there. Also, Maya was in the while she was stabbing in an attempt to stab, right in front of her, between her and the cop, was a black buck kicking a girl in the head. I mean, though, but then blacks call them bitch and whores and sluts anyways, so you might as well treat them like dirt anyways. That's what they do. It's a horse video. It may get blocked, may get banned, may get removed. I mean, I'm not shocked. I have other YouTube channels that I keep unadulterated, just in case. You know, because we know the media does not like the truth coming out. That blacks commit most of the crimes. More whites are killed by cops than blacks are. Blacks kill blacks. They get no media attention. Only when a white kills a black does that get media attention. When a white cop kills a white, no media attention. No criminal trial. When a black kills a black, no criminal trial, no media attention. It's an agenda to divide and conquer the black and whites. The black community is being set up. And you can keep on believing that. Believing that your Black Lives Matter care for you. While the co-founder of Black Lives Matter has taken all the money she's raised and spent $3.5 million on 4 properties. She didn't put the money back into the community. Donald Trump was putting money into the community. Joe Biden has not put any money into the community. All these bailouts there go to big corporate industries and go to the black community. That does need assistance. I have no problem giving the black money to the communities. No. I have no problem with that. But to believe, this is another myth, that blacks commit crimes because of poverty. Rich blacks commit crimes. Poor blacks commit crimes. That drug dealer on the street walked around with $15,000, $20,000 in the pocket, rolled up in a knot. He's not poor. It's about right and wrong. That's what it's about. It's about right and wrong. And blacks don't want to know what right or wrong is. Video's on, almost 40 minutes. I figured it was going to be a long video. Peace out to all my brothers of any skin color. Peace. Love you.